Previously on Star Trek Resurgence.
While protocol might suggest we alert Starfleet about our situation, I think we're better off keeping this to ourselves, under our control. You know what's at stake for me here, and what is at stake for you, too. I can't afford another mission gone wrong, and I'm really counting on your support.
A Taconian energy source.
This Cartabula is more powerful than any energy source on record. It disabled our ability to warp and likely created the ion storm.
We have to find that ship. The Takan also compromised our systems when Petty Officer Maris stole data from our computer core.
It's just too soon to say exactly what they had access to.
Starfleet needs to know about this.
We're not contacting Starfleet until we fully understand the situation.
We shouldn't take any chances. We should at least alert Starfleet that our system was compromised.
The device Commander Rydek found in the Taconian Vault is an advanced delivery mechanism for a complex biogenetic transformation process. They're taking the DNA and engrammatic data of a specific Taconian and displacing that of its host. You see it, don't you? He's desperate, withholding intel from Starfleet just to save his reputation. That's not normal behavior for a captain. I was relieved you called him out on it.
My friend Miranda is not responsible for what she's doing. The Takan have taken control of her mind. We certainly can't kill her for it.
Speak for yourself.
Hello? Can you read me?
Itaska, is that you?
Major!
It's my lieutenant.
Major, we've seen Sidron and the other Atari. And if we can get free, I think we'll be able to overpower them and take back the ship. I'll cover you. On my signal. Now!
Damn!
Looking for the bridge doors. Wait, what's this?
Got something?
Gravity. Some gravity polarity. Now!
Incoming!
Heavy damage! But deflector's still at full power?
We've got incoming! How do they keep matching our shield frequency? They couldn't. Unless... they've compromised our shield algorithms. They can bypass our shields at will.
What?
Captain!
He's out cold!
Give you credit, Commander. You survived longer than I thought you would. But make no mistake, your shields are useless, your weapons ineffective, and there's nothing you can do. Tell your Federation that Takan are as merciful as they are powerful, that you were fortunate to escape with your lives.
This isn't over.
I assure you, we've only just begun.
You didn't beam out after all. And Nilly's there with you too, right? It's good you two are together.
Believe me, I don't want to be here either. Looks like neither of us get our way.
But Carter, I am going to get my way. Think of all the knowledge lost for 500,000 years that you'd have access to. I know you want more from life, and I want to show you what you could be a part of. Carter, you have a thirst for discovery. And a part of you would remain to experience the things I can show you. But if you try to fight it...
In case you forgot, we were a part of something. I still am.
Every one of us on this crusade has fought wars more brutal and consuming than you could fathom. But I want to reach a peaceful resolution to this. We can continue this conversation in person. I'll see you on the bridge very soon.
Her comm badges. She's tracking our location with them. She's trying to keep you talking.
You're still there. I think that's because you know we have something to offer you.
I just want one thing.
What's that?
For you to go to hell.
You need to see this. The report on the data breach.
They didn't just compromise our shields. They stole the shield algorithms for all of Starfleet as well.
What can we use to get Portal 6-3 to help us?
The most important thing is, don't let him push you around.
I'll stand up to him. You can trust in that.
Good. But that's just the first step. Portal is full of bluster and bravado, but he can be reasoned with. And that's my other piece of advice. You want to appeal to him rationally. You don't want him thinking you're acting out of fear.
Thank you, Captain Riker.
One more thing. Ambassador Spock said that Khan stole some data from your central computer. What's that all about?
We're still assessing the extent of the breach. Nothing to report as of right now.
That's it? Ambassador Spock suggested it was something more serious.
One thing we know is that they stole Starfleet shield algorithms.
The shield algorithms? That could jeopardize every ship in the fleet.
We're still making sure our assessment is accurate. We don't want to raise alarms unnecessarily.
This is as real as it gets, Solano.
I specifically said I wanted to keep this under wraps. I thought we had an understanding. Now all of Starfleet will hear about this.
I'm sorry, Captain, but I didn't feel comfortable lying to a superior officer.
I have no problem telling Starfleet. I just didn't want Riker holding this over me. Now I have to think about the damage control of it all. You're dismissed. Prep your way, team. We don't know if Portal 6-3 will cooperate. If he's not an asset, he's an enemy. So be ready for anything.
Hello, everybody. It's Tuesday night, and you know what that means. No, we're not going to be watching any wrestling. We are actually going to be continuing on our voyage to Delphi Ardu 4. Welcome, everybody. Another week of Star Trek Resurgence. It seems like we're just right on the cusp of finishing it. I think this week and next week, from what I can see. But I don't want to speak too soon. Thank you all for joining me tonight, and let's hop right in. Fun little recap. I had a lot of fun editing that one this week. I was talking to my partner about it, and I said, let's watch a few of these behind-the-scenes dealies, or not behind-the-scenes dealies. I'm going to switch back. Sorry. Let's watch a few of these previously on dealies from the actual show and try and get a sense of what makes them work. And it turns out what makes them work is not having whole scenes play out, and having gunfire or phaser fire and spaceship battles in between the bits where there's talking, and trying to get it below like 2 minutes. We got to 7 today, which is an improvement over last week's 17, so I'm going to take that as a big W. All right, now let's go. Oops. Let me check this out. Sorry. I'm glad I caught that when I did. Let me just see if this blips on the... No, it doesn't. My partner always tells me to check these things before I get started. And usually it works. It's bad. Sorry, folks. I'm just going to switch this over to here. And I'm going to keep an eye on the chat on my screen while I fix this. And Tell me about your days. I had a big work day. I was building out some math handouts for work. And I accidentally forgot how math worked very briefly and had to redo a big-ass diagram. That was unpleasant. Quite unpleasant. This is a bit of a mystery. I'm going to restart the game and see what happens. What are some other things I could talk about? My favorite episode of Party Down is Celebrate Ricky Sargulesh. Oh, got some fresh pasta being made over there. What kind of pasta are you making? Celebrate Ricky Sargulesh. Here we are. I think that's the sound of a starship purring. I think that's the sound of a starship purring. I think I hit mute when I shouldn't have, but also there were no bars. Whatever. Doesn't matter. We're here now. Fettuccine, but not Alfredo. That is a choice. That is a good choice. It's a delicious choice. But I hope it's delicious. And I hope it's a good dinner. All right, here we go.
Our coordinates match the exact location where Riker met Portal 6-3.
Unlike Riker's team, we beamed down without a problem.
It's quiet.
Portal has to know we're here.
If he won't come to us, we'll go to him. Spread out.
Already gave it a scan. Dead. Whole planet feels like it's been turned to stone.
Doctor?
Commander? Keeping an eye on those Duridium levels? Good. Last thing we need are your cells destabilizing on a hostile alien planet.
Anything unusual, Commander?
It's all unusual, to be honest. We've precious little data on this planet, so brief was Captain Riker's visit. Anything he didn't see himself is a total unknown.
We deal with unknowns all the time. Part of the job.
I'm accustomed to dealing with the unknown from my station on the bridge.
If I recall right, Geordi LaForge transported in here, hanging upside down.
I guess we're lucky we were spared the indignity.
Burn marks.
The report mentioned phaser fire being redirected toward these strange crystals.
It also mentioned Portal calling down lightning bolts.
Better keep our guards up.
This is where Portal 6-3 projected his image.
He was guarding this bridge. That has to mean something.
We'll move forward when you're ready, Commander.
I made this comment last week, but I can't believe she's on this trip with us. I was thinking about it, right? And in a game with like split narrative choices, you know, we had the choice of having her come out as a horrible burn victim or not. But I think this is where one of those limitations happens where, you know, you build the scene out, you have this character that has to be here, and then you just gotta not think about it too hard. Because, like, I mean, I don't know, if you get, like, a whole bunch of plasma in your face, I feel like her eyes probably got turned into tiny raisins, and, you know, she's got this visor and everything, but... Man, I don't know, either they got them Starfleet amphetamines going, or, she's just, like, she's just built different.
Follow me. Ends here. Is it me, or did that path just disappear?
There was a path there a moment ago.
There must be an explanation.
Tetrametric pulses.
Same energy as the other Takan technology.
Most of the crystals appear dormant. What's different about this one?
Readings indicate there's a cavity in the rock right behind it.
We could try melting a hole through the wall with our phasers. Worth a try. Nothing. There's gotta be a weakness. Somewhere it isn't totally solid. Whoa! An illusion. I'm sure that wall was as real as the rest of them. I felt it.
It's almost like our holodeck technology, but far more advanced.
The crystals must be absorbing the energy from our phasers.
I'm picking up something. A biosignature. It's faint, but it's there.
With me. Another dead end.
Or another illusion.
Crewman LaRue, if you would.
Duval to Resolute. Beam Crewman LaRue directly to medical.
Is he okay?
Yeah. He'll live.
Not all crystals work the same, it seems.
Don't fire your phasers at any crystals unless we're sure they're putting out the same pulses as before. Commander, I may be able to speed up the process. I can now detect many different wavelengths of radiation simply by looking. The Takan radiation is unusual, so I can't quite clear it all up, but I was able to eliminate many of the non-tetrametric crystals. Your tricorder should warn you. That's an enormous help. Thank you, Lieutenant. It's my honor.
Commander!
Look at that.
Trust, but verify.
Indeed.
We don't have any data about what's below the surface on Delphi Ardu 4. And I don't feel a particularly strong urge to find out.
Then that makes two of us. More crystals. Need a way across. I wonder if this place was always so lifeless.
Aside from the breathable atmosphere, this is a remarkably inhospitable planet. Traces indicate there was once living flora, but it's been dead so long it's practically turned to stone.
From what Portal told Riker, it was an outpost to defend the far edge of the Takan Empire.
Well, it's not that now. Now, it's a grave.
There's something alive beyond this wall. Based on the data from the Enterprise's records, it must be Portal 6-3.
I'll figure out how to get us past it.
I know you will. The biosignature is coming from this direction. I'm sure of it. But there's no getting through here.
There's always a way.
Too many buttons. Okay, so 2 weeks ago, I walked into a laser field and just to see what happens when you die. We haven't died very much in this game so far, but it tells me not to do it. Okay, so just so we know, we can't shoot the other cables. Oh, there. I spoke too soon. All right. No. X. I guess while I walk around, I'll talk a bit about the episode where the Takan first appeared. It's in the first season of TNG, when Riker was clean-shaven. It's called The Last Outpost, and it was an episode where we were introduced to the Ferengi as well.
Tetrametric. Better go see what's different.
It was an episode that I suppose you could say was famous for having Ferengi with a big whip. They had that big energy whip, and I don't think they ever bring that back.
The way's clear. Good work, Commander.
We'll make sure it's safe. Incredible.
The plants here are actually alive. Is this the biosignature you detected, Doctor?
No. Not a match.
Tetrametric.
Then it's creating an illusion as well.
Based on the data we have so far.
Only one thing left to do. Doctor, be ready to beam us out if it turns out we're wrong.
Duval to Resolute. Lock transporter on away team.
nothing like this in any Federation record.
The plans.
Barbarians.
It's him.
How dare you disturb me? I'd hoped you had enough sense to leave of your own accord, but here you stand. Fools. In another time, I would have destroyed you and your ship simply for setting foot in this place. Fortunately for you, that time has passed.
Portal 6-3, Guardian of the Takan Empire. We've come a long way to meet you.
Guardian? I am Guardian of nothing. The Takan no longer exist. Don't care to be reminded. If this is why you've come, then you should leave. Now.
I'll cut right to it. The Takan have returned.
Returned? My people have come back? How can that be? I've been alone for so long. If it is true, how did they return?
Draconian technology made it possible. To enable the transfer of consciousness from one being to another after physical death. We call it bioforming. A group of Draconians calling themselves Scions of the Flame used it to reawaken after hundreds of millennia.
Scions of the Flame?
Is something wrong?
I'd hardly call them Takan. They were a radical faction with beliefs outside the mainstream. Beliefs that lesser life forms should serve as vessels to ensure Takan immortality. You want me to help you destroy them. That's why you've come. You want to destroy these scions.
You don't have to do anything except help us find them. If that's all you want to do.
I don't believe that.
They have an incredibly powerful energy source they call the Cartabula.
These scions have the Cartabula.
And they've used it as a weapon against us.
I will speak with you alone.
What are you doing? Where are we? Where's my team?
They're safe where we left them. That the scions have stolen the Cartabula is deeply concerning. And to be honest, I'd rather speak with you alone, John Rydick. Your colleagues don't know what it means to be the last of one's kind. You and I are remnants of fallen civilizations. The Kobliad, the Takan. One dying, one dead. Our species could not be more different, but we both know the meaning of loss. The others wouldn't understand. It's beyond their ability to comprehend.
We're more alike than you might realize. In that we accept the inevitability of loss.
If only you understood the glory of the Takan Empire's past. Tell me, why spend your days away from your own people when so few of them are left? Why live your life working for this federation to which the Kobliad do not even belong? And submit yourself to their authority? It makes no sense. Not by my logic.
It's true, the Kobliad chose not to join the Federation when the offer was made. And I could have chosen to stay on my home planet, waiting for the next shipment of Diridium to arrive, biding my time and fearing for the worst. Instead, I chose to embrace the future, not fear it. Joining Starfleet gave me the opportunity not just to help my own people, but countless more. You told Riker you'd wait until you were needed. You're needed now. We need you.
As much as it pains me to learn the Cartabula has fallen into the hands of the Scions, my services are not up for offer. To be chosen as a portal was to give one's entire self to the cause of protecting the Takan Empire. I left behind everything I know, and now you want me to turn against my own people. Betrayal of my oath, and everything I vowed to protect.
Every Takan that comes back does so by stealing someone's body. They are killing to come back.
What you call bioforming, we thought of as a marginal science. But if these reborn Takan plan to restore the Empire, is that a disaster to be avoided? Taconian technology is so advanced, it could save millions of species currently on the brink of extinction, including your own. And at the price of a small few, think of how the many could benefit. Instead, it sounds as if you are reacting out of fear before you have a full understanding of what's at stake. I don't think you've given this full consideration. You may have more to gain than to lose.
The Takan Empire is gone. It had its opportunity and proved unable to survive. There must have been a reason the Takan have faded to a distant memory. It ran its course. And those of us who are here now deserve to choose our own fate.
You said the Takan vanished for a reason. I cannot claim our empire was without sin. I'm curious to see these scions masquerading as true Takan. So I will go with you, and we shall find them. But when we do, I will judge them myself as a guardian of the Takan. To understand their true intentions, for better or worse.
I'm sure you'll see things the way we do. And if you don't stand in our way.
That is a problem for another time. I'll return.
Commander! Hold your fire. I'm all right. He's coming with us.
We assumed the worst.
She's perfectly fine. Now then, shall we?
All right. We can beam up your... Do you have any equipment or tools?
Whoa.
This is all I need.
Away team +1, ready to beam up.
Four warp cores. That's interesting.
Redundancy. If one goes down in battle, we can still operate.
Makes this more difficult, though.
This ship can maintain warp with half the cores offline. We'll need to disable 3 of them.
Where are the engine schematics? Power flow routing charts.
We're soldiers, not engineers. I thought you would know what to do.
We understand how to operate it under normal conditions.
You're in good hands. We can do this.
I trust that you can.
You at least know where we should start?
This way.
Oh boy. You say sabotage. I say sabotage.
What are we dealing with?
Confusion of at least 2 cores would produce an exponential increase in power. Thermostatic sensor relays temperature signals.
Cores are running really hot. Makes sense, since they've been producing at max output since we left Hotari space.
No ship can run for very long like that. Not before a catastrophic failure hits.
It's right on the edge. We just need to figure out a way to give it a push.
Bet that console down there could tell us a few things.
I really like the design of the Ilidian warship, but it goes back and forth between like really cool pieces that seem functional and then Mass Effect. Like, I that's really like the best way I can put it. Mass Effect. He did the thing with the ladder. Carter Diaz is my favorite.
Whatever we do, we need to make sure the Takan can't undo it.
So we need a way to permanently disable the reactors that won't destroy the ship and kill us all in the process.
You thinking what I'm thinking?
Warp core ejection. So the question is, how do we make it happen? The reactor coolant system is operating at emergency containment levels.
It's just barely keeping the temperature in check.
Maybe we can use that. If it gets this high, their system considers a reactor breach imminent. The safety protocols don't look much different from the Resolute. Breach protection. Reduce output, command override. Cease matter, antimatter flow, command override. Emergency warp core ejection. Computer control.
Even command functions can't override one of the most crucial safety measures.
So the protocol's still active. That's good. Looks like if sensors show a core is about to rupture, the computer will eject it automatically rather than risk a breach.
So we need to increase the warp core's temperatures.
If we destroy the coolant regulators, there won't be anything to keep these reactors from going over.
And it will trigger the ejection. Let's peel these suckers open. I'll take that one.
I'll take the one next to it.
The second you two start dumping cores, the Takan will know we're here.
We'll be vulnerable. Stuck in one place while you work.
We will have to make a stand.
Start thinking about an escape plan. I have a feeling we're gonna need one.
We'll barricade the door. Work quickly.
We might not have our tools, but our phasers can do this in a pinch. We better get this right. If we foul it up and this whole thing goes boom... We don't know how much damage that Cartabula will do.
There goes the galaxy.
Could be that bad.
We'll get it right.
It's not a Starfleet warp core, but the coolant regulator has to be in here somewhere.
He's not just gonna fire into that thing. Oh my god.
Time to heat things up.
Oh, God. Okay, this feels like a bad idea, but...
Warning. Warning. Warp core output at critical level. Ejecting core.
Okay, now they're definitely gonna know we're down here.
Warp core output at critical level. Ejecting core.
Just one more to go.
They're here!
They're cutting through the door. We don't have much time.
Okay, same as before. We just gotta...
Go! Finish!
Hey! Would you mind not shooting at the matter-antimatter reactor?
I'll cover you.
What? No!
Get the warp core done, or we're all dead.
Federation dog.
Just about.
Warp core output at critical level. Ejecting core. Warp drive disengaged. You did it.
You got another way out of here?
I think so. Itasca, can you climb?
I'll see you on the parade grounds of Surella, my friend. You want me? I'm right here. Not you too.
Calm yourself, child. better soon. Wake up, Manka Umet. Return to us. Rejoin the flame.
To reclaim what was lost.
We don't need to watch this.
I do. I want to remember every moment when I make them pay. But this isn't the end. I will avenge Itasca. Swear to me, you will join me in this.
How about we try to save her?
That's a dream.
I swear, we will make them pay for it.
There's so much I want to ask you.
There's so little I can tell you. I'm a portal, not a scientist, but I'll certainly do my best. I can only assume this is one of your older starships. One would think, given the importance of your mission, they might send a ship of a more recent vintage. But, apparently not.
It may not be a Taconian ship, but the Resolute is one of the best we've got. So don't disparage it.
I was just asking.
Something wrong?
Not at all. The galaxy has grown more diverse since the days of the Tacon Empire.
Because you conquered everyone who didn't look like you.
To the contrary. Most lesser civilizations willingly join the Empire to enjoy the benefits of an advanced way of life. But that expansion came with its own set of problems, so I admire your ability to diversify without creating conflict. That was always our challenge. And perhaps, ultimately, our downfall.
The Federation prides itself on its inclusiveness. I'd say it's one of our greatest strengths.
As the Vulcans say, infinite diversity in infinite combinations.
Interesting. I'd be curious to meet one of these Vulcans. If this is the best you have, then so be it. To locate this scion, Galvan, I'll need full access to your ship's systems.
Full access?
Huh. You must be out of your mind.
No, I'm right here, completely in my mind. And with all due respect to your advanced technology, the simple fact is that I won't be able to locate him without it. Perhaps I should have made that clear up front. I'll need to make certain modifications.
I can't promise anything, but let me see what I can do.
Just know, without it, I won't be able to help you.
This isn't gonna fly. I'll see you on the bridge. Captain Solano, I'd like to introduce you to Portal 6-3, Guardian of the Tacon Empire.
Pleasure to meet you, Captain.
Likewise. I can't say I've ever met a portal before. There is no modern equivalent. Not within the Federation, at least.
He's been kind enough to agree to help us find Galvan.
I am at your service. To whatever extent I can be of help.
If nothing else, I'm sure you're happy for a change of scenery. You spent 600,000 years at your post. That certainly takes an uncommon level of dedication.
We all have our duty.
Of course. But I'm curious. You were stationed there in preparation for what, exactly?
Any and all threats to the Empire.
An empire that no longer exists. Which suggests you weren't very successful.
You said you needed my help. I didn't come here to be insulted. Perhaps that was a mistake. I'd be happy to return to Delphi Ardu at any time.
And we do need your help. Absolutely. And we are grateful that you decided to come.
And your captain has an odd way of expressing his gratitude.
I'm merely curious where your allegiances might lie. And clearly it's with the Takan.
Yes, Captain. You have found me out and exposed my true loyalties. To the Takan, not to the Scions of the Flame, who do nothing more than tarnish us in name and reputation and don't deserve to be called Takan. That's why I'm here. And if you'd be so kind as to give me access to your ship's systems, we can get on with it. And you can stop wasting my time.
Access to our systems? That's completely out of the question. Tell me that's not what you promised. We're vulnerable enough as it is. And now we're supposed to give him access to everything? Ridiculous.
Captain, I know it's a risk. But right now it's our best shot at finding Galvin and that ship.
Now I understand your reluctance. I never imagined offering to help would be met with such ignorance. Bordering on incompetence.
If you're not enjoying your visit to our ship, we'd be more than happy to let you wither away back on your pathetic little rock.
Captain?
You clearly do not appreciate the magnitude of the threat the Scions pose. So myopic is your focus on your own ego. I will not be leaving until they have been found.
Commander Rydek, a word.
And to think, I waited 600,000 years for this.
He's being such a brat.
You realize this puts me in an incredibly difficult position. I was against seeking him out from the start, but now, to give him access to our systems? It's insane. And you somehow expect me to believe his allegiance is with us? You heard what he said in there. There's no way we can trust him.
I might otherwise agree, but you're missing the most important point. He's a Takan, and he may be loyal to the Takan, but not to the Scions of the Flame. He's against everything they believe in. You heard what he said.
There's too much at stake to be wrong on this.
We sought him out for a reason. To help him find our missing crew, Galvin, and those Elydian ships. This is the plan we agreed to with Ambassador Spock.
Which I never liked. But here we are. You know what this mission means to us. Not just for the Federation, but for me personally. I can't afford another screw-up. Losing the shield algorithms was bad enough.
Oh my god.
This could be the end of my career.
We'll take every precaution to make sure we get what we need. I'll keep a close eye on him myself.
I appreciate that. I'm going to trust your instincts on this one. I just hope you're right. For both of our sakes. Let me know if you find anything.
We're good. You may begin.
I will, of course, have to make a few modifications.
What kind of modifications?
To find Taconian technology requires Taconian technology. If this Scion Galavan modified his ships, then I must do likewise to yours. The galaxy is nearly infinite in size and complexity. This may take a moment.
How long will it take?
Something. There you are.
What is it? Galvin?
Someone is using Taconian technology. I can't get the precise bearings, but it's located in the Palisades cluster.
I'll let the captain know. Rydek to Solano. I think Portal may have located Galvin.
I'll be right there.
I'm getting all kinds of interference. Almost impossible to lock on the energy signature.
Where's he hiding?
in the Palisades cluster.
Interesting. Can you lock in on the location?
Not until you get me closer.
Lieutenant Handar, set a course for the Palisades cluster.
Aye, Captain.
Well, I suppose I owe you an apology. You were right after all. That's what I get for questioning the advice of my first officer. You always have my back.
I'm just glad it worked, and we were able to track him down.
Which wouldn't have been possible without your determination. So thank you for that. Nice work. Let me know if you find anything more.
Will do. What's wrong?
I didn't want to say anything until I was certain. But the reason for the interference is simple. There's a Taconian device on this ship being used to block the signal. Whoever planted it was exceptionally clever. They knew how and where to hide it. But they have underestimated my abilities.
Engineering.
Take care of the Taconian device, and I can find Galvan for you. It's designed to interfere with all transmissions, or at least delay and confuse the effort to find Galvan's ship.
Hold on. My understanding is that Takan technology requires a Takan to operate. Is there another Takan on this ship?
The Scions could have someone on the ship, doing everything they can to stop us from finding Galvan.
Don't worry, I'll get this fixed. We're going to find that ship. Engineers would have found this device already if it wasn't well hidden. Better to rely on my tricorder.
Hello? Did any of you get stabbed with a purple thing lately? Hello? This is the first time we're actually able to walk around engineering. But naturally, because we're pretty far into the story, there isn't a bunch of stuff for me to walk up to and press. But let's kind of soak it in. Observe some differences to what we're familiar with in Next Generation. For one thing, these two big pylons as opposed to the one. And let's see. I don't really remember my warp physics, but I know that that's the core, and then those two other ones push plasma out to the warp drives. Got a little engineering lab back here. Woefully understaffed, but that's just how it is these days. And that looks like some sort of other feed. Let's see. Maybe we can figure out where we are on the ship. Because, like, it's just a saucer and the impulse drive, right? So that pipework above is probably... If you are a Trek head and you're in the room, why don't you speculate on this one? I would guess that it's where the... What do you call it? The stuff that has to be cold. Not the antimatter. Deuterium. But not the thing that Jara needs. Whatever. Okay. I'm getting distracted here.
There's a lot of noise in here. I should scan the device putting out the most radiation to filter it out.
Yeah, you got the matter and the antimatter, and then you also got the... Well, okay, wait. Here. We can actually scan this thing. Gotta be up.
That's better. Most other radiation sources in here are well contained. There's definitely tetrametric radiation nearby. But even with the gain boosted, it's getting drowned out by other sources of radiation in here.
No, dilithium's the catalyst in the core. Matter and antimatter are the two elements that react with that as the catalyst, and then there's the actual fuel. I mean, I don't know anything about Star Trek or whatever. This is a... Yeah. Oh, God. Okay. staircase? That is a staircase I can't go down.
Jeffrey's tubes thump harmonics from all over the ship. I'll filter that out. There's still something drowning out the tetrametric radiation. I need to find it so I could filter it out as well.
What is this?
A little bit of harmless radiation leakage here, but enough to mask the tetrametric pulses. Easy enough to cancel out. There we go. I'm getting a clear tetrametric signal now.
6 layers of transparent alloys, vacuum barriers, and low-grade force fields contain the raw electroplasma behind these ports. Filtered radiation is primarily infrared, and visible electromagnetic radiation between 580 and 1100 nanometer wavelengths. Cool. So you can, like, look through this not glass and see all of the energy on the ship that blows up the computers on the bridge. Alright, let us find this rogue piece. Yeah, that is crazy amount of radiation to just be exposed to. You know, like those badges, I don't know if this is just a Canadian thing, but like flight attendants have to wear these badges that collect radiation, because when you're flying, there's a certain amount that you can tolerate over time while you're up there, and then you kind of have to mail it in and then send it back. Imagine that thing just immediately glowing.
Found it.
The second you walk in here.
Excuse me, do you belong here? Commander Rydek. I'm sorry. I didn't know it was you.
No.
Good to see you again.
Likewise. You've been working hard?
Yes, sir. Always room for improvement, just like you said. What, are you doing back here? I don't mean to pry, but first officers don't usually go digging around engineering compartments.
Just a routine systems check. We've been having problems with our comms lately.
Ah, that's news to me. I haven't heard anything about it.
Probably because the comm system isn't working. Have you seen anyone else in here recently that might seem out of the ordinary? Maybe someone who doesn't work in engineering.
Not that I can think of, but I can ask around. I'm here almost all the time, but maybe someone else noticed something?
Thanks, but I'll talk to Commander Chovak about it.
Okay. Well, let me know if I can be of any help. Well, I'll leave you alone already. Oh, come to think of it, that Hotari woman was down here earlier with Dr. Duvall finishing the last of the bioscans.
Tylus?
That would be out of the ordinary, right?
Thank you.
Oh no. Our girlfriend.
Maybe Tylus saw something.
Before we talk to Tylus, I really gotta point out how this person seems to be in every shot. You know, like I get it. It's expensive to make people. But how true it is to the Star Trek experience that you get the same heads in different different division colors. It really hammers home the authenticity of populating a whole ship full of 5 extras in LA. All right, let us interrogate our bestie.
Tylus, can I speak to you for a moment?
Of course.
Is something wrong?
There's something happening. I may need your help. This is important.
How can I help?
When you were in engineering with Dr. Duval, did you notice anything out of the ordinary? Or anyone?
Not particularly. Why?
I found this, hidden in a compartment down there.
That's Taconian technology. Does that mean there's a Scion on board? But Dr. Duval bioscanned everyone. Every deck, every crew member, I've seen the logs. She couldn't have been more thorough.
Someone evaded detection and planted that device.
Which would mean they've been with us this whole time. Watching, listening.
All the more reason why we have to find them.
It could be anyone.
That includes both of us.
You want me to get scanned? Better to know for sure, right? I'll admit, I was around the Scions as much as anybody.
I would feel more comfortable if you did.
I understand.
Clear.
Now it's your turn.
Sure.
Clear.
Don't sound so surprised.
You spend plenty of time with the Scions as well. You never know.
Let's get to it. The search starts in engineering. Whoever planted the device most likely did it within the last few hours. So I'll start by running a scan, tracking everyone who came through engineering over the last day, in reverse order.
This could take forever to sort through the number of people that were in engineering.
I'll filter out the duplicates.
That helps.
Filtering for outliers. People who don't work in engineering.
Now this is manageable.
Cross-referencing this list with everyone who's traveled to Hotari. Let's see who's left. No. This can't be right.
What?
Of the people that went to Hotari and visited engineering, it could only have been Captain Solano.
According to this, he was here while you went down to Delphi Ardu 4. Which would have been the perfect opportunity. And no one would question him. He's the captain.
He fits the profile for the kind of people the Takan want to bioform. People with authority that can lead to them gaining more control.
Like Galvin? The Queen?
The captain of a Federation starship. What happened when Dr. Duval bioscanned Captain Solano?
That's just it. She never did.
How is that possible?
Something more urgent would always come up. There was nothing she could do. But performing a bioscan is the only way to be absolutely sure.
That's not going to be easy. First thing I need to do is get this device to Portal.
Be careful. And good luck.
I'll need it. I've found the device.
Interference is gone. I have located Galvin's ship more precisely. He's in the Usonia system.
So then it worked.
This whole region was one of the most sacred for the ancient Takan. What many consider the birthplace of our civilization. See these comets and planetoids in the outer orbits? Based on their current trajectory, that's Galvin's destination. And legend tells us it's the location of what was once our largest arsenal. Not that we needed it in the late stages of the Empire, but it was there as a precaution nonetheless.
What kind of weapons are in this arsenal?
It's difficult to know what would have survived from the time of the Empire, but be assured that the damage they have done so far by altering your current technology will be minuscule compared to proper Taconian firepower. If Galvin and the other Scions secure the arsenal, they will become extremely dangerous. My people had such power at the height of the Empire. The Tekon were as gods, keeping absolute control over countless worlds. I must speak with them directly. However, the presence of this device is worrying. It's highly likely it was placed here by a scion hidden among your crew, and it is unlikely this interference device was the scion saboteur's only trap. If we reach Galvan and the saboteur cripples your ship, we will be at their mercy. Even my powers will not be able to protect us. Do you know who it is? They may well do more damage if left alone. Time is not on your side.
Just leave that to me. I hope to resolve it soon.
The longer you wait, the more time we lose. Bioforming was so rare in the time of the Empire that I am not able to detect if it has taken place. Whoever you suspect, proof is something you will have to provide on your own.
I'll have it, once I've bioscanned the person I suspect. I just need to visit Dr. Duval.
That's quite the claim. You told me you were worried about him, but I never imagined this was what was wrong.
I wouldn't be asking you if there was any other possibility.
That would explain why Solano has been too busy for a bioscan lately.
As the ship's doctor, you have the authority to declare him unfit to serve.
Well, if you're right, this is the worst-case scenario. Challenging your own captain is a tall order. Are you sure you're prepared for this? If you fail, that's it. The end of your career. Maybe your life.
I don't know if I would be on my own. But with your support, I'm sure we can do it.
Well, that smooth talking may come in handy. I'm in. But we can't pull this off with just the two of us. I technically have the authority to make Solano undergo a scan, but in reality, he can and will refuse to do it. We need at least another member of the senior staff to support your claim, or this could all blow up in our faces. You better think long and hard about who you can trust.
Down to one reactor. Thought we'd be stopped dead. At least stuck at impulse power.
The Tekon enhancements must be able to brute force limited bursts of warp output.
Yeah, but they won't get to wherever they were headed at this rate. They're just limping along now.
So where does that put us?
Maybe I can answer that.
While I rummage, who should we pick as the command staff member that we trust? Because I'm stumped. I would say Bedrosian, but I don't really think she's all that senior, for one, and I did burn her eyes out of her skull through my own decision making. Ermot, the Bolian, I mean, he's kind of taken Solano's side in a lot of this stuff, especially early on, because he's kind of by the book. And then Westbrook. We got Commander Westbrook. He's kind of like, we've won him over. He apologized to us because he was being a dick. And, I'm leaning towards him. But, why don't you shout out in there who you think? Chovak. I feel bad I forgot about him. Let's actually take a peek. Very quickly, without reading this bottom text. Who else we got here? We could call Captain Riker. I have a feeling it's going to be split between Westbrook and Ermot just because of rank. But we haven't seen Chovak in a while. And Calloway, totally little suspicious. I am excited for a good old-fashioned mutiny. That is pure Star Trek, along with this beautiful Starfield. I'm actually just going to let this record for... Oh, yeah. Spock. I'm just going to let this sit for a little bit. Let's enjoy this little view out the window. really is just kind of serene and evocative. One of those moments where you just take a break from all the rigmarole and stress and kind of take a look out the window. Thank you for sharing that with me.
I got the ship's heading.
They've changed course. Drastically.
Looks like they're headed here. Usonia system. They might stop there.
Can we use the Zeldi's comms to signal your fleet?
The comm systems are locked.
Grab hold!
Oh!
The inertial dampeners can barely keep up. If they keep forcing this ship to make these short warp jumps, they're going to tear it apart.
Zeldi is still made by Lydian hands, despite all this Takan corruption. It will hold.
And we just gotta stay safe until Starfleet can find us.
You got into games on that thing?
Your people. Is there somewhere you go when you die?
Life after death? No. On my homeworld, some people think they can cheat death in a way by joining with the Trill symbiont. But that's not a life to me.
What about you? Is there another plane of existence for you? With every passing battle, as I get older, I think about it more.
I believe there's an afterlife.
You do?
Yeah.
Then you should understand this. My people have a special journey. When Lydians die, we rejoin our comrades, family, and ancestors.
On the parade grounds of Cirella?
That is just one part of it, but yes. Death is not the end for us. So, even if some part of Itasca remains, by letting the Takan use her body, at best we are delaying the inevitable next step for her. At worst, we are leaving her as a prisoner in her own mind. You want to save the transformed. So do I.
Now that I've seen it happen, does it make me a hypocrite to say he has a point? What if we can't get them back? We can't leave them like that, right?
I think Itasca would want to be released. To think of what she could be going through right now. It's a torturous idea.
You're allowed to change the way you think with new information. That's how it's supposed to work.
The way you think and the way you feel don't always line up. I had a sister, a twin. It's very rare among the Trill.
You never told me that.
She was one of the youngest hosts to ever join with the symbiont. A sentient creature that lives in our body. It's considered a great honor. The symbiont can bring centuries of knowledge and wisdom to the host. But sometimes, the symbiont personality suppresses the host entirely. My sister was the closest person in the world to me. I knew she would be different after joining. But she drew more and more distant. The room we shared growing up was foreign to the both of us. And eventually she, or whoever she'd become, cut me out entirely. So I left for Starfleet and swore I'd never go back. I couldn't stand the thought of seeing her. Someone who looked like my sister. Sounded like her. But wasn't.
So, losing Miranda like this, it opened an old wound.
Never really closed up in the first place.
You remind me of Itasca.
I do?
Bonds are not made by what runs through your veins, but the blood you spilled together.
Itasca was my family in that way. I want you to know there is nothing I won't sacrifice to win this fight. But if we're lucky enough to survive, I'd be honored if you'd count me as one of your tribe. As Itasca was.
Even a couple of engineers like us?
You are many things.
Don't talk about things going wrong, and don't leave it up to luck. We gotta make sure we win this thing.
True enough. Will they not cease this madness?
What is this place?
Is that the Veskar?
Another one of yours?
Not anymore. They've corrupted it, just like the Zeldi.
Now there are 2 ships. Did this just get better, or worse?
It certainly doesn't bode well for the crew of the Veskar. So many lives stolen.
We're really at the heart of this fight now. We just gotta figure out what we're gonna do about it.
This doesn't look like the Aphelion. What are they doing here?
You don't think they're just meeting their buddies?
Maybe, but then why are their buddies here?
Prepare for transfer.
The storm! It's back! What happened?
Hold on. Scanning. Tetrametric radiation is dropping. The Zeldi's dropped to minimal power levels.
It's running off just the one warp core now.
That means...
They've sent the Cartabula to that other ship.
Something wrong, Captain?
No, nothing's wrong. In fact, I was just going to call for you. I'm needed down in engineering. The bridge is yours.
Oh boy. Oh boy, here we go. I think we should use the navigator. You know, I was thinking about... Oh,
Commander
shit.
Irma, a word, please.
Of course, Commander.
Well, I did that by accident. I guess it's Ermot.
How can I help?
The captain may have been compromised. I have reason to believe he's been bioformed, and is now actively working against us.
Based on what?
Someone is sabotaging the mission. They planted a Taconian device in engineering. Captain Solano was in engineering while we were on Delphi Ardu 4, and he purposely evaded Dr. Duval's bioscan.
I know you've struggled with some of Captain Solano's methods. Your inclination has been to follow the rules, to play it by the book, even when the Captain's first instinct is to do as he pleases. Why trust me with this? There were others you could have confided in. I may not have been the best choice.
In our every interaction, you've been level-headed and kind. Something this sensitive? There was no one else I could turn to.
I would be flattered, were the situation not so dire. When we first met on the starbase, I told you about the accident that took so many of our crew. You said you were sorry for my loss. The captain being bioformed. That's our loss now.
We will survive this. I have Dr. Duval's support for relieving him of command. Once we get a bioscan of Captain Solano, we'll have the proof to make that happen.
He'll never agree to it.
He'll have to, if we confront him publicly. On the bridge. I need you to back me when he tries to refuse it.
You realize this will make you captain, don't you? Are you prepared for that? Especially under these circumstances. In this way.
As first officer, it is my duty and responsibility to protect the interests of the ship and its crew when the captain has been compromised.
Well said, Commander. You have my support. When do we act?
Now. Dr. Duvall is already on the bridge. She'll ask Solano to undergo a bioscan. Then we confront him when he refuses.
Into battle we go.
I need to take a breath. This is tense. Okay, so I accidentally hit the trigger and picked Ermot, but now that I think about it, he's the first person we talked to in the game that was part of the ship, and it kind of tied into what he said. You know, you might remember 5 weeks ago that he's the one who told us all about the crew's dynamic and what was going on. But what I wanted to talk about was trying to figure out when Solano might have been bioformed, because I wonder if it was as far back as when Miranda did, because I can't think of another time where he was like, where there would have been an opportunity. But also I was thinking about how he just kind of ended up like whatever Takan ended up in him, assuming the bioscan catches him as a Takan. How pissed is that guy? How pissed is that person that's inhabiting him? Like, when we walked onto the bridge, he was just all sad, and he's just kind of, like, tired all the time. I don't think that's him being controlled. I think that's just, like, sad man. Maybe Captain Solano's sorrow is so deep that it surpasses the bioforming process. Hang on to that thought. Also, I think Bedrosian's going to be upset with us for not picking her, but...
It's now or never.
Captain Solano.
Commander Rydek, we need to talk about... Doctor? What brings you to the bridge?
Just a bit of housekeeping. You owe me a bioscan, Captain.
I don't have time for that right now.
It will only take a moment. I can't put this off any longer.
You can, and you will. All you'll find is that I'm quite reasonably under stress given the circumstances, and you aren't making it better. I'll find you in sickbay when I'm good and ready. Or, if you're gonna stand in the way of the mission, I can find you in the brig instead.
It's merely protocol, Captain. All officers that touch alien soil have to be bioscanned.
I know the protocol. It's not more important than chasing down these Draconian marauders.
Commander Rydek is right, Captain. The safety of the ship is of paramount importance.
What is this?
We need you to comply with the scan, Captain.
That's enough. Drop this. All of you. I'm giving you a direct order, Commander Rydek. Stand down and go back to your post. Now. Do not make me tell you again. I've been a starship captain since before you were in the academy.
I refuse. So do the others.
Well then, you've left me no choice. Security to the bridge. Arrest Commander Rydek. Take her to the brig.
On what charge?
Conspiring with the enemy and mutiny.
Wait. With all due respect, Captain, Commander Rydek deserves the chance to defend herself.
You have no say in this, Commander Ermot. Sit down.
I will not.
This is not Captain Solano. He's been bioformed. He's a scion.
You're out of your mind.
She can prove it.
Oh, man.
He sabotaged our efforts to track Galvin with this. He planted it in engineering while we were down on Delphi Ardu 4.
Lies! Perpetrated by the only Takan in our midst, Portal 6-3. He's actively trying to divide us from within.
Captain Solano has refused to be bioscanned because he knows it will reveal he's a scion.
Take her to the brig, or I'll do it myself. Oh!
Wait! Stand down! That's an order!
This is outrageous. What is happening? Someone needs to make sense of this right now. We're going to run out of places to stash prisoners.
I can prove I'm right if you just give me a chance. If I'm wrong, then I will face the consequences.
I can't believe this is happening.
I'm going to settle this once and for all.
You ever see an argument in an office? This feels exactly like an argument in an office.
Commander Rydick was right. Captain Solano has been compromised. He's been bioformed into a Takan.
As the Chief Medical Officer of the USS Resolute, I am relieving Captain Zachary Solano of command.
Take him to the brig.
I don't want it to be Duval. I trust this lady way too much.
That could have been so much worse. I hope you're all right.
I'm fine. Are you okay?
It hardly seems real. All I can think right now is that I will miss the captain. I've known him for so long. To lose him like this, it's...
We don't know yet if bioforming is truly permanent. There's still some hope.
That is a bit of comfort. But I know better than to hope too much.
Oh. 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 Oh my god, it's happening. Oh, Lord. Let's just pan around to the faces of all the people who saw the fight in the office. Somebody got called out for microwaving fish. Somebody got called out for playing their music too loud. Make this nice and slow. I think they have the red markers because of the fact that I didn't choose them. I hope.
Set course for the Usonia system. Maximum warp. It's time to face Galvin.
Yes, Commander. Sorry. Captain. On your command.
Engage. battle stations. Shield status. Set to maximum, but with the algorithms compromised, they may not do much.
Captain, that other Elydian ship is here.
The Zeldi?
We're outnumbered.
Captain, your orders.
Evasive maneuvers.
Aye, Captain.
The Veskar's warp engines are powering up.
Our warp engines are offline.
That must have been their goal. They didn't want us to chase the Veskar.
According to my readings, they also took the Cartabula with them.
They're not breaking off. We have to destroy the Zeldi before it destroys us.
With Diaz and Edsalar still over there?
They'll need to evacuate.
Come on.
I almost have it.
They gotta know we're here. Hurry! You got it?
Got it! Diaz to Resolute!
We read you, Diaz.
This is Ermot. It's good to hear your voice. Is Edsalar... is she with you? Everyone wants to know.
Yeah, we're both here. We're both okay.
Very good, Petty Officer.
Can you get us out of here?
I can't transport you out while the Zeldi's shields are up.
Is your cooler friend still
Phaser fire
alive?
won't even get through. Is there another way off that ship?
We'll find a way.
Whatever you do, you'll have to be quick about it, because we can't give you much more time. We can't evade the Zeldi forever.
Understood. Diaz out. We're gonna have to get out of here the old-fashioned way.
Elydian ships have no escape pods.
We can leave out that cargo bay we transported to before. But then there's the vacuum of space to contend with.
Those freight containers. Maybe we could use those to make an escape pod?
Is that even possible?
We're gonna make it possible. Unless you have a better idea.
Let's go.
I've polarized the hull plating. That should allow us to take a few more hits. Enemy phaser impact dissipated.
Heading, Captain?
Ooh, attack pattern beta.
Attack pattern Beta 3. Circle around that asteroid and come back firing.
Aye, Captain.
Zeldi, in range. Fire!
Zeldi's shields down to 82%.
We're doing damage, but they're hitting us right back. We'll run out of hull before we penetrate their shields.
Perhaps I can be of assistance. I can modify your impulse engines to amplify their meager output and avoid more of their attacks. But I will need full access to your propulsion systems.
That goes against dozens of Starfleet regulations.
It's not a security risk if the alternative is destruction.
To me, it's simple. You can take this beat and hope you can weather it. Or will you put your trust in me? I've left everything behind for you. The least you can do is put your faith in me.
Oh, I don't trust him. I don't trust him, but I'm gonna go for it.
Commander Ermot, give Bortle access to the propulsion systems. You're going to have the ship in your hands. Don't let me down.
This will take a moment.
He's gonna keep doing this, right? He's gonna be like, oh, now your food systems are messing up. I can help you with that. I can help you with your weapon systems, and then he'll have the whole ship. rate's gonna be sick as hell.
Your ship has let up its fire.
That gives us some time.
All right. One of these freight containers should do the trick.
Be quick.
All right, everybody,
We need
let's
one
pick
big enough for all of us to fit inside.
let's pick a
Something
coffin
we can
for
make
ourselves.
airtight.
Not enough room for the big guy.
Damn it. Not this one.
Here we go. This'll work.
That's great, but it's not airtight yet.
No problem. We'll just seal it up.
This container is extremely heavy. Even with the containment field open, it won't leave the bay quickly. I'll find something to accelerate our exit.
Glancing blow. Very little damage.
I cannot keep this up for long.
Their phaser banks are recharging. Now's our window. We have to strike back.
I agree.
Their next barrage could be our last. Better make this count.
Target their weapon systems. Take the teeth out of their bite.
That could make them run. Just like the Veskar, we'd lose Diaz and Etzelar again. Hit their engines. We've already lost the Veskar.
We need to protect ourselves first.
Target their propulsion systems. I don't want them going anywhere. Targeting their engines.
Whoa. We gotta move it now.
These will give us the push we need.
Those are explosives.
We'll ride the blast right out of here. All set.
I'll set the containment field to deactivate, and then run back. We can detonate by remote.
We'll need to seal the doors from inside the container once we do.
Before all the air sucks out of the cargo bay.
Just a few more moments.
Hurry! What are they doing in there? Please, help me.
No. The Takan get what they deserve.
Don't leave me to die.
I don't know. Can we really leave her?
We can't. We don't have the time. We have to seal ourselves in.
This ship can't fly. Sidron set it to self-destruct. Please, Amenta.
Oh,
It's not her.
no. I know it's not.
Carter, we have to seal the doors.
Don't leave me!
Get this lifeboat off the ship before Sidron blows it all to hell!
There's room for one more.
We're going.
Etzelar to Resolute.
I have the away team.
Go ahead.
We're about to exit.
We see the cargo bay containment field is deactivated.
Get that tractor beam ready. And you should know, the Zeldy is set to self-destruct.
If we do enough damage to the Zeldy first, it'll prevent the self-destruct sequence from completing.
We can't wait any longer. We have to fire.
Captain, they're almost out of there.
We need to act fast. Prepare all torpedo banks. Aye, Captain. Locked on and ready to fire. Fire!
Ready?
Detonate!
Tractor beams locked on. We have them. They'll be pulled into the docking bay shortly.
There's something else. I tracked a transporter signal to the planetoid moments before the Zeldi detonated.
Sidron.
There's a Takan structure there. It's the reason they were here. It's the reason we are here. Now.
I have to see it for myself. We'll go there together.
I had assumed as much.
Is this the Takan arsenal Galvin was after?
Legend says this region once held the sacred mysteries of the Takan Empire. Our greatest treasure. Our most fearsome technology.
I want a full security detail. Westbrook, Bridrosian, you're with me. Mr. Ermont, you have the con.
Wait. You're not the first officer anymore. The captain is supposed to stay with the ship. I'm surprised Lieutenant Bedrosian didn't raise that first.
I thought Captain Rydek knew what she was doing. You're right. But this is too important for me to sit out. You'll just have to make sure nothing happens to me down there. Of course, Captain. We'll deal with the first officer vacancy when we return. Until then, Mr. Ermont?
Yes, Captain.
I think this is where we're going to end for tonight. That was incredibly harrowing, and I gotta say again, they really nailed a lot of things here. That was really great. It's time for our weekly vibe check. Let's start with Carter this week, and let's try and go through all the folk that we know for sure have changed. So Spock, nothing. Itasca, same as last week, probably because that's not Itasca that we saw blow out into space. I feel a little bad about that decision, but I think it's also consistent to how I've been playing Carter and Rydek. If Rydek was in that pod, she would have let her in. Carter's in that pod, he's still mad about Miranda. We'll see how that plays out, but that's the line of thinking. Just so you know, the little inside baseball there. Westbrook, same as last week. We haven't seen Chovak in a while. Major Arminta understood when Carter refused to rescue Itasca aboard the Zeldi and respected the decision. Miranda was saddened when Carter wouldn't accept her offer to join the Takan, which was made worse when he told her to go to hell. And Edslar was somewhat surprised by Carter's lack of compassion when he sealed the door and refused to save Itasca aboard the Zeldi. What would you have done if she tried something in the tiny box? That is a very good question. Die, probably. It makes sense. You know, like, I made the choice. I'm sticking to it. But there is that part of me, you know, like, stepping out of the character and into me looking at it. You might remember last week that the Takan, the Scions of the Flame that have taken over people, are also as afraid to die as anybody else. And Carter saw it for himself. the reason we stunned all of the people on the bridge of that ship instead of killing them outright. So, you know, like, yeah, it's tough. It's tough. All right, Jarrah pissed a lot of people off this week. Ensign Calloway was somewhat suspicious and more than a little concerned when he discovered Jarrah lurking in engineering. Chovak has no change. I believe we read this one last week. Captain Riker struck by Jarrah's confidence when seeking help from Portal 6-3. Portal 6-3. Portal 6-3 felt slightly less offended after Jarrah defended him from Captain Solano's insult when they first met. But he couldn't understand why she tolerated his ignorance, and he suspected she knew more than she let on when he asked her who she suspected might be the Scion aboard the Resolute. This hasn't changed. Dr. Duval admired Jarrah's intuition and leadership when she was asked about confronting Captain Solano. Commander Ermont was deeply honored. Jarrah found him trustworthy enough to confide her suspicions about Captain Solano and understood that she was driven by a sense of duty for the difficult task at hand. In the aftermath of the confrontation, once Jarrah became captain, Commander Ermont was buoyed by Jarrah's optimism and hopefulness that Captain Solano might somehow be saved. Tylus has not changed. Commander Westbrook was stunned after Jarrah chose not to confide in him before confronting Captain Solano on the bridge. He should not be stunned. He is a jerk. He is a Commander West jerk. That was from last week. Lieutenant Bedrosian was insulted when Jarrah chose not to confide her suspicions about Captain Solano before confronting him on the bridge. She should live with that. Just deal with it. And Captain Solano took Jarrah's actions as mutinous when she confronted him on the bridge and asked him to submit to a bioscan. Captain Solano, you have been accused of microwaving fish in the office, and for that we will have a loud public argument, making it awkward for the rest of our coworkers. That's it for this week. Next week, it looks like we've got a lot to cover. And in the interest of trying to knock this one out of the park, I think I'm going to just like push straight through. We're going to start at 7. Maybe we'll hang out a little bit. We'll catch up with each other, and then we'll just rocket right back into this because this is... my poor heart can't take the suspense every week. And that big space battle was really something else. Thanks again for joining me, and I will see you on the flip. I'll see you on the flip side. Bye.